What is happening, everyone, and welcome to a not at all spite-driven bonus episode. So here we are, the grand finale of the 100% checklist run. The bosses are all dead, the throne is waiting, and all that's left is to choose an ending. And because this is Elden Ring, obviously something had to go wrong. We had the Mending Rune of perfect order, so Goldmask's ending was right there, very polite, very organized, very geometrically correct. But we also had the Mending Rune of the Felt Curse, Dung Eater's ending. You know, the one where we curse the entire world forever because one deeply unpleasant man decided his problems should become everyone else's. And when we got to the ending menu, nothing. No Felt Curse, no Dung Eater, no congratulations, you've picked the worst possible future. So we went with the perfect order. It's fine. Goldmask earned it. He pointed at things, refused to explain himself, and he died. Iconic. But I couldn't leave it there. So I went back to Renola, picked the biggest sword I could justify, dumped enough points into strength to turn problem solving into blunt force trauma. The plan was simple. Start New Game Plus, bonk everything in the way, get back to the throne, and make absolutely sure Dung Eater finally gets his horrible little moment. But first, one last stop. The Claw Talisman. Because we're going full strength, we might as well make jumping attacks irresponsible. And yes, Stormveil was still perfectly capable of killing me with gravity. After grabbing the talisman, getting bullied by a ladder, and responding with a completely proportionate amount of violence, it was time. Journey 2. New Game Plus. Same character, much bigger stick. First up, the Grafted Scion. This thing bullied us at the start of the original run, so it seemed like a perfect damage test. And apparently, the answer was yes. 2 hits, a poise break, a critical, and suddenly the tutorial boss is less of a threat, more of a workplace accident. Damage test successful. So with that confidence, I did what any other experienced Tarnished would do, walk right off a cliff. Welcome back to Elden Ring. And with that promising start behind us, Journey 2 officially begins. Same Tarnish, same world, significantly less patience. Naturally, Melina shows up to offer me an accord, which was very kind, because I'm mostly here to offer everyone else a conclusion.
I offer you an accord.
And with that offer accepted, we go make some poor decisions with 80 strength. First up, Margit. Now in the original run, Margit was a real boss fight. This time, more like an equipment check with dialogue.
Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins.
And with Margit down, the revenge tour was officially open for business. Next was Godfrey, who made the bold decision to continue existing directly in front of a big sword, a decision he would soon regret.
I am the Lord.
Godric down, limbs removed again. After that, it was time to grab the Academy key, because apparently, even in New Game Plus, higher education still requires paperwork. Quick little side quest for the Onyx Lord. Not required, not important, just emotionally necessary. And next up, the Red Wolf of Radagon. Unfortunately for him, this build had moved past the concept of fair fights. Then Renola, who had already helped create this disaster, so really, this was just quality control. With the Academy handled, we moved to Bellum Highway, because the mission was not to explore. The mission was to get back to the throne before common sense could catch up. Magma Worm Ricard was next, blocking the way like a responsible boss with actually no idea what kind of stupid build was walking towards him. And then, of course, the Draconic Tree Sentinel. Because no trip to Leyndell is complete without being personally disrespected by a horse. But eventually, even the horse problem is solved. The early run is done, the build is working, and the path to the ending is officially open. Time to make a few deeply questionable friends. Alright, so to get the ending we missed, we have to go back to help one of the most unpleasant people in the entire game. Which in true Elden Ring fashion, starts with finding a cursed corpse, talking to a guy who sounds way too excited about it, then heading into the sewers to open the door that probably should have stayed closed.
Have you ever felt the curse?
No, Dung Eater. I have not felt the curse, and honestly, I was doing pretty well with that. But now, with the door open, it means that Nightmare Man is officially back on the schedule. Time for some grocery shopping for the apocalypse. The shopping list gets strange very quickly. We need a few flowers, half a secret medallion, a round table hold ambush, and a crabman who absolutely did not deserve to get dragged into this. Sorry, Albus. This is a speedrun of bad decisions. And because we picked up the medallion half, Ensha's decides to make this everyone's problem. Then we meet Boggart, who's just trying to sell seafood in peace. Unfortunately, this is a Dung Eater questline, so peace is not really on the menu. Back at Round Table Hold, Dung Eater leaves us a message, because apparently the murdered gremlin has learned how to schedule appointments. And this is where the quest goes from weird to mean. Boggart ends up cursed, Dung Eater invades, and suddenly this quick ending run has just turned into a revenge errand. So we put him down in the moat, which somehow is not the end of the problem. Because of course now, we have to go back and keep helping him anyways. The Felth Curse ending is less of a quest line and more of a legally questionable delivery job. At this point, the plan sounds simple. Get enough Seedbed Curses to feed them to the Dung Eater's real body. The real problem is that Elden Ring hears the word simple and immediately sends us through the capital, 2 major bosses, Castle Sol, Ordina, and the Haligtree. With the first capital curse picked up, we just have one more to go. Then Godfrey shows up and reminds us that even a quick ending run still has a cover charge. And after that, Morgott does what Morgott always does. Blocks the door, gives a speech, and makes me earn the next part of the route. And with Morgott out of the way, we can finally make our way to the snowfields. and through Commander Nile, guarding the last half of the medallion. Then comes Ordina, a peaceful little puzzle town, if your idea of a peaceful puzzle includes assassins and rooftop archers. I almost had it clean, and then Elden Ring reminded us that you can't get too confident. Dignity almost gone, and we can get to the Haligtree. Loretta's the final bouncer before the last Seedbed Curses, and thankfully, she is at least a normal kind of problem compared to everything else in this quest. And so there they are, the last 2 curses we need. After all that running around, the world's worst grocery list is finally complete. So after all that, the sewers, the moat, the capital, the snowfield, Castle Soul, Ordina, and the Haligtree, we finally bring everything back to Dung Eater. And this is the part where the game makes it very clear that we're not fixing anything. We're not saving anyone. We are handing a nightmare man exactly what he asked for.
They'll be born cursed, all of them.
Unleash it upon them! A curse blessings to war!
And there it is, the Mending Rune of the Fell Curse, the missing piece to the finale. Now, on to the endgame. Alright, the Curse Errand run is finally done. Last time, this ending refused to show up. This time we came prepared. So now there are no more errands. No more weird little side objectives. No more collecting cursed evidence for the worst man in the lands between. There's just one final stretch between us and the ending Dung Eater somehow managed to rob from the finale. First up is Fire Giant. Because before we can curse the entire world, we still have to commit some light arson at the forge. Last time, we used a frenzied flame to burn the Erdtree. So this time, it's Melena's turn.
O Erdtree, you shall burn.
And after that, it's off to Farum Azula. And of course, waiting for us there is the Godskin duo, because every final boss run needs one last reminder that Elden Ring does not respect your time. At this point, I'm not even here to fight with honor. I'm here to deliver the Curse Rune and leave. Then comes Maliketh. And this is where the run starts to feel real again. Up to this point, we're mostly checking boxes. Fire Giant, Duo, keep moving. Don't think too hard about what ending we're about to choose. But Maliketh is different. Before we can bring the real Fell Curse to the end of the game, we still have to get through Destined Death. Which feels appropriate, honestly. Dung Eater wants to curse the world forever, and Maliketh is standing here absolutely not. Fair position, wrong playthrough. Then, it's time for Gideon, the all-knowing, the all-spamming. The man who somehow found time to learn every spell in the game, but not enough situational awareness to stop monologuing before the boss fight. I respect the commitment, but we're on a clock here.
To become Elden Lord, it's a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas,
Goodbye, Gideon.
in my bones.
After Gideon, we reach Godfrey. And Godfrey always feels like the final proper wall before the end. No puzzle, no gimmick, no curse shopping list. Just a massive man with an axe standing between us and the throne. And then, of course, he decides the axe is actually slowing him down, which is usually part of where things stop being reasonable. Horaloo is such a perfect late game check, because after all the weirdness, all the detours, all the questline nonsense, the game just asks one simple question. Can you survive this man trying to turn you into a floor texture?
Tarnished. Thy strength befits a crown.
And after Godfrey down, we're finally back where the whole problem started. The last time we stood here, this was supposed to be the end of the 100% run. We beat Radagon, we beat the Elden Beast, we went to choose the ending, and the Fell Curse just wasn't there. So this entire run has basically been one long correction. One last bit of unfinished business. Radagon is the last clean fight before the choice. No Dung Eater, no quest markers, no Seedbed Curse. Just one more duel before we found out whether this horrible little plan actually worked. And honestly, after everything to get back here, I kind of feel like Radagon is still standing in the way. It makes the ending feel real earned. Not good, definitely not morally good, but earned. Because at this point, we're not saving the world. We're just making absolutely sure Dung Eater gets the final word he was denied last time. And then, one more time, it's Elden Beast. Big cosmic space whale. With the final chase across the arena, the last health bar between us and the most cursed ending in the game. This fight always feels a little strange after Radagon, because Radagon is the intense final duel, and the Elden Beast turns into a cardio test. But this time, I don't really care how much running it takes. We have the rune, we have the ending, we just need the final hit. And that's it. No more bosses. No more errands. No more Seedbed Curses. Just one final choice. Last time the game didn't give us an option. This time, the Mending Rune of the Fell Curse is right where it's supposed to be. So after everything, the running around, the curse deliveries, Dung Eater gets one last bit of revenge after all.
The fallen leaves tell a story of how a tarnished became Elden Lord. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Our seed will look back upon us and recall the reviled curse that defined our age. The blessing of despair.